Okay, here's the story, you guys. I was watching some TV with my wife one night, Saturday, a couple weekends ago, and I got a text from my buddy, and he's like, hey dude, you wanna go golfing tomorrow? And I said, heck yes. I begged my wife to go. She said I could go, so I went and checked out my inventory of stuff, make sure I had enough balls, enough tees, all that. And I had plenty of balls, and so I was like, I'm good to go there. And then I looked at my tee inventory and it was nothing. I had one broken tee and one full tee, and I was like, that is not gonna be enough. And I looked at the time and it was like 8 o'clock. Didn't wanna go to Walmart to go pick up some tees, and I don't wanna buy them at the pro shops. So I looked around and I was like, okay, maybe I got some in my pockets, maybe I got some in the junk drawer. I looked down in the dryer vent. I mean, I looked everywhere for tees, couldn't find any. And then I ran across my son's 3D printer. And I was thinking, I wonder if I can 3D print some tees and they would be done in time. So I looked online, found some tees, put 18 on the build plate, and it said it would take 5 hours. And I was like, oh, perfect. It would be perfect time. I put them on an SD card, I put them in, click print, went to bed, woke up to a bird's nest full of filament, which is fine because it's pouring down rain anyway, so I didn't go golfing. But because of that video, I decided to print some tees and some other things that I would like to test out that I can 3D print for golf. So let's do that. So like I said, I printed off a whole bunch of tees, but I also wanted to try some other things. One of the things that I've been really meaning to buy for myself is a grip trainer. And it's because if Scotty Scheffler uses a grip trainer every time he plays, every time he practices, there is no reason why I shouldn't print and use a grip trainer. So here's the grip trainer. Also decided that, hey, my hanger video did so well, why don't we 3D print a hanger? I had some trials and tribulations with this thing, but we're gonna go into that. A lot of you may want to practice in your backyard and don't have a huge yard. I've heard but never tried out the Birdie Ball. I found a Birdie Ball knockoff. They call this an Eagle Ball. We're gonna test and try this out. I also wanted to do something for putting. I really been meaning to get the Putt Out. This is a 3D version of the Putt Out. It printed pretty nicely with my Ender 3 printer in PLA. And so stay tuned. We're gonna start with the tees, testing out the tees, and let's get into it. So again, I printed off these tees. The first print I did was just like the normal style tees, but I've always wanted to try these shouldered tees to where when you put them into the ground, they stop on the ground and they're always at the correct height. The file that I printed did a whole bunch of different sizes of tees, and so I think it was 8 different sizes. These printed pretty well after I got everything dialed in. It took me a while to get the printer working. I actually called my sister because her husband prints and she prints a lot, and they gave me some tips. One of the tips was using glue stick on the build plate, and that really helped with adhesion, I think, and that kind of solved all my problems. So the only issue that I have, there's 2 issues that I see with these tees and printing off some tees is one of them broke when I was trying to take them off, so I'm gonna feel like, and we're gonna test them, but these are a one-use tee. Every time you use them, they're going to break, but you can print 18 of them overnight and they'll be ready in the morning, as long as it doesn't fail, of course. The other issue is, and again, this could be user error, there might be some settings that you can change, but some of them printed perfectly with the cone on top, but some of them did not. If you look at this one right here, this one did not print the same type of cone. We're gonna see if that's gonna be a problem with the ball staying on top. We'll find out. I don't think it will be. I'm gonna test these in my backyard. I'm gonna test them if they will hold a ball. Since it's in my backyard though, I'm not gonna hit any balls off of the tee. I'm just gonna strike them with my golf club and see if they will withstand at least more than one use of usages. So let's go test those out. Okay, so we're gonna test out these tees now. I'm gonna test first if the ball will stay on this one. This is like the best printed cone one, and then this one is not really printed that great. So we're gonna test to see if the balls stay on them. I got a Kirkland ball out here. So I'm gonna see first the big tee, whether or not it stays on. I think that stays on pretty good. Stays on really good, actually. So again, this one down here, the cone was all messed up. Make sure it's straight up and down. Stays on really good. Now, let's test the durability of them. This like smaller one, seems like it would be good for like irons off the tee, so I'm gonna just hit an iron first. Let's see here. Don't really know why I'm putting on a glove, but I'm putting on a glove. I'm not hitting a ball because I'm in my backyard, and this will go way too far. Just a little 9-iron, just like on a par 3. Just gonna try to hit that tee and see if it breaks. Missed the tee, which is a good thing, I think. Ball then divot, right? Nope. So let's check that out. Definitely broke the tee. So I think it's a good tee still. I just think they're gonna break every single time. I'm gonna try one of the longer tees. Again, not hitting a ball, just testing durability. And broke right off, but like I said, broke right off, but I don't think it's a big deal. I think these would be good if you want to print 18 night before, 18 a week before, just have them in your bag and just know that you're going to be needing a new tee every single time, unlike the other ones that you probably used before. So I'd give this a thumbs up. Print them unless you don't want to print them every time you go. Get a pack from Walmart or something. So after the tees, I decided that I wanted to do some more training things. I've been really looking at buying one of these. These are not super expensive. I think they're like $17, maybe $20 online. I'll link some in the description if you don't have a 3D printer and you want a grip trainer. This one printed, and I can show you how much in PLA it's estimated to use. It's gonna use like 19 cents of filament. And so you definitely save money. And this one took about 9 hours to print. So it actually gets to you quicker than Amazon would, even if it's like the next day, because if you print this at 8 o'clock at night, it will be ready for you in the morning. Well, if you ordered it on Amazon at 8 o'clock at night, it might come to you the next day in the afternoon. So like this will actually come quicker too. We're gonna test this out now just to see durability, how it feels. This works well. I'm gonna be using this all of the time. So let's go test this out. Okay, so now we're gonna try this grip trainer and see if this would be worth it. So how it goes on is there's like this little V right here is supposed to help you with alignment. So I'm gonna put it on and show you how I aligned it. So it's like perfect. If you look here, sometimes there's a line on your club that will tell you that will be square. So I'm just gonna line this up with that to where my hands would go, which is about right here. So I'm trying to line up this V with that line right there. And then I'm just gonna kind of push it on there. There's a lot of cracking happening right now, but it looks like it is in one piece. Looks like it is lined. Oop. Oh, did you hear that? That was a crack. Oop, that was another crack. Oh, I do have some delamination there. Feels good though, feels really good. I wouldn't say it's a bad grip trainer, except for the delamination here. I did print it in this orientation. Oh, there's some more delamination right here. And so maybe if I printed it up in the upright position, it would print this way and be a little bit stronger. There just would have been a lot more supports in between here. So I printed it the way it told me to print it in the design. But feeling this, I feel like it's the same grip that I would normally take. I like how it feels, and I would recommend getting a grip trainer. I'm gonna move this down just a little bit. Durability wise though, I don't think this is going to be very durable unless it gets printed in a different orientation. So it might be worth that $17, which isn't like a lot of money, but I do like the holes, and like this is a lot of grip trainers, that's where your thumb goes, and then you're supposed to pinch this, and then you can do the same thing down here. And it feels really nice. I like the idea of it. I feel super square. I'm looking at my club face and it seems super square. So I think this is a good training aid. Would I 3D print it? I mean, I'm gonna show you where it delaminated again. Delaminated there and there, and now it is broken. So like durability wise, probably I would not print this again unless I printed it maybe in a different orientation or with maybe some different settings that maybe you guys can help me with. So again, down in the comments below, if you have any ideas to help me fix these, maybe I will address them and print them again, and let's move on. The other thing that we're gonna test out today is the hanger. And so this is a 3D printed hanger that somebody designed. This comes into 3 different pieces. As you can see, there's a black piece and a white piece. That is because this piece right here and this piece right here are separate. They actually have like a little hole for you to use a screw in. I tried to use a screw and it broke both this piece and this piece, so I ended up just super gluing it with some baking soda added onto it for a little bit more strength. It's also connected right here in like this jigsaw pattern, which I think is a really cool thing to do. I thought it'd be awesome for you to break down, put it in your bag, and then you can put it back together. But I ended up super gluing this one too, because when I was like messing with it, I'd press like this would come undone, and I didn't really like the idea of that. So again, I super glued these two together. And we're gonna test this against my DIY version, which if you wanna see that video, you can click right here. But this was much cheaper than my DIY version, if you already have a 3D printer, of course. And I think looking at it, it's gonna be easier to put on. I'm a little nervous about it being on the club and twisting as you're using it, because there's no way for it to clamp on pretty tight. But we're gonna find that out. So we're gonna test that right now, and I'm gonna compare it to this one right here that I've made. And so let's go do that. I got the 3D printed hanger right here, and I'm gonna put it on my club. I got a 7-iron here. It doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna hit any balls or anything. I'm just gonna check the functionality of it. Again, there's no way to tighten this down, and I'm gonna slide it over the shaft of the club first, and then I'm gonna try to line it up with the end of my club. I don't know if you guys see that. It's with the leading edge of this club, this is lined up with it. And then if you look, this has a little pokey thing that's supposed to go inside the end of your club. It does not fit in the end of mine though, which is fine. That's an easy fix. I could probably take it like a utility blade or something just to kind of shave that down. Like I said, I'm a little nervous about it moving, like coming out of place, but it looks like it's actually kind of moves back and forth. Lined up, still kind of lined up. Yep, there we go. All right, so let's feel this out a little bit. So I'm gonna feel this out. I mean, I'm pushing kind of hard. It's not moving, so that's a good sign. Roll up my sleeves to feel how, because I kind of feel like this is kind of sharp, and it's an easy fix of just kind of like sanding it down. But they could have also put like a chamfer in it, but yeah, it's kind of sharp, so I'd probably sand it down a little bit. But other than that, it's functioning fine. I don't feel like it's gonna break. I do know that unlike the grip, this is printed this way instead of this way, so I don't really feel like it's gonna delaminate at all. If you had any thicker grips, it probably would not fit though. This is a standard size grip, a little bit mid-size grip or oversized grips. This would not work, while the one that I made would work for those oversized grips. But I feel like this is doing its job. I don't think it's not doing its job. So yeah, let's put on the one that I made, and I'm just gonna show you some differences real quick. And the main difference, in my opinion, is the hose clamps. The hose clamps make it a little bit more universal for all size grips and all that stuff, while this right here is one size, and if it's too big, it's too big, and if it's too small, it will slide around too much. I can tell you, looking at them side by side though, like if this was all one colored PLA, I would say that I would have bought this and it wouldn't look weird at the driving range. Well, this definitely looks like a DIY. It's not as professional looking as this. I can probably tell you too that that one was much easier to put on than this one. This one you have to slide over the grip, and it's kind of hard to do sometimes. And see, this is kind of where it gets kind of hard, but once it's over here like this, it's good. I'm gonna put this on. I always like to tighten up. I'm gonna line up at the same time. I always like to tighten up the back one first. I have a video on this if you guys want to watch it. Pretty awesome thing. So now it's on. Again, doesn't look as professional, but I feel like it's more sturdy. Like I can really put pressure on it without it moving, but it doesn't look as professional for sure. I would say both are good. If you have a 3D printer, make this, try it out yourself. You could probably adjust this if you know how to use any 3D program to adjust. This is, if you don't have a 3D printer, works just as well. Doesn't look as professional, a little bit harder to take on and off, but not by much. But if you're thinking about 3D printing this, you have a 3D printer, go ahead and do this. You won't regret it. I also wanted to try to have something that people could use in their backyard if they don't have a lot of space. And I've heard of the Birdie Ball before, and they're very expensive. I think the last time I looked, they were like $59 for 3 of them. I could be wrong. I'm gonna put what they are right here. But this was probably $1 per Birdie Ball. They call this the Eagle Ball. Again, I'm gonna have everything linked in the description below. And so if you want to print these themselves, I was kind of nervous about this, especially after making the tease about the durability, but whoever designed this really made it super stout, super resilient. And I don't feel like this is gonna break, but at the same time, I haven't hit it with a golf club yet. This took about 12 hours to print for 1. I didn't see how long it would take for 2. I'm gonna put that right here. But again, this is a print that you can get faster than Amazon and way cheaper. So if this works, this is gonna be an awesome arsenal for 3D printing golf stuff. So we're gonna test that now and just test the durability and whether or not it's something that I would recommend you guys printing. I've always wanted to try the Birdie Ball, 3D printed version, Eagle Ball. I'm gonna just, this one I can actually hit, unlike the tees, I can hit as hard as I want. I don't know if you guys see a tree out in the distance, but that's where I'm aiming. I'm gonna do like a little chip shot first, and then I'll kind of go at it because I don't want to break it the first hit. So I'm gonna try to go towards that tree, just a little half shot, see if it withstands this impact. Nope. Oh man, I wish I would have done that in slow motion. First hit, I thought I had such high hopes for that thing. Oh man. So I wish I would have done slow motion, and I didn't, because I thought I was going to withstand it, honestly. So I would not recommend making that unless you guys can show me how to print it. It broke first hit. I'm gonna go grab it real quick. Totally thought I was gonna be able to hit it at least one. Oh man, that sucks. Maybe if I change the infill to 100%, but then it would take forever to print. Use so much filament. Just looking at it, I'll show you guys here in a second. It exploded. Hopefully some of the, if you look, I think it's just not enough infill. Broke almost instantly. Well, so my putting is atrocious, and I saw the Putt Out at my local Walmart a long time ago, and I wish I would have bought it because it's no longer there. And for some reason, ordering stuff online is like a more barrier to entry than buying it in the store for me. And so when looking around, I was looking for something to help my putting. And so I found this Putt Out 3D printed version. This is the one that took the longest to print. It failed 3 times, and it took about 2 days, 2.5 days to print. It had finally print. I feel like it definitely could have had thicker walls on the bottom. When I was taking off the supports, it broke. There's a spot on the side that is kind of loose. It's just not like, I wonder if you guys can, it's like very crackly. The supports inside, I could have probably did a more infill on this one. I'm still gonna test this out. Out of all of the prints, this is the one that frustrated me the most. And then when it was finally done, I didn't want to print it again. And it's just not like super, I don't feel like this would be solid in my bag compared to the rest of them. But let's go test this out and see if it functions like it's supposed to. And if it does, maybe you guys should print it. Okay, so we're gonna try this Putt Out, and if you look in the background, this is my POS golf cart that I just bought. Go ahead and check out the intro video to that. I got a lot of cool plans for this, so go ahead and check out that video. But again, this is just a putting training aid. You can do this on the carpet in your house, or you can do it on a putting surface like this. I'm going to do it on a putting surface. And what it's supposed to do, there's supposed to be two different things. It's supposed to automatically bring the ball back, and it's supposed to help you work on your speed. If you hit this ball perfectly, with perfect speed, it will fall into this hole and then stay there. Or if you don't, then it's gonna come up short, it'll go long. I'm just gonna try this out. And see, oh, I pushed that a little bit. It kind of moved on me. I was kind of nervous about it moving on me because of how light it is. And again, I feel like if I just did a little bit more infill, that might be a little bit different. That was a little bit hard. It comes right back though. It's pretty good. Again, that moved again. I don't know if you guys see it. I'm gonna line it back up. That was pulled a little bit. Again, pulled just a little bit. It's functioning. I just don't feel like it is heavy enough for it not to move every time I hit it. One more shot here. Oh, there it goes. Perfect speed, landed perfectly in it. So would I print this again? I'd probably print it again, but I would change the settings. In this configuration, it's like very flimsy, very light, and so every time the ball hits it, it moves, as you can see. So like, I don't think I would recommend printing it just as it is. If you know a little bit more about 3D printing than I do, go ahead and look at this. Tell me what settings I should print it. Maybe I'll print it again and try it out. But as this stands, I mean, like, I feel like I could break it. It's like, it's not super strong. It took a long time to print, and that's a little frustrating, and it's a little bit too light. So skip this for now unless we can figure out down in the comments how to print it correctly. Again, I'm a novice at this, so maybe you guys can help me out and I'll reprint it. This all started with trying to 3D print a tee, which I think these worked really well. The other products like the grip and the Putt Out and even the Birdie Ball or the Eagle Ball were a little bit lackluster, but the hanger was a good idea, and some of it with those other products is probably user error. So if you guys have any insight to make those prints better, leave them in the comments below, or comment what I should 3D print next. And until next time, make your golf your project.